Funding for the KEET Living Biographies initiative has been provided by the Lila Wallace Reader's Digest Fund, the California Council for the Humanities, the Humboldt Area Foundation, and other donors.
What do you think about horses, Helen?
I hate the damn things.
Why do you hate them?
Well, because I had to ride them until my rear end was big calloused. And if you wanted to go anyplace, that's the way you went.
Born in 1906, Helen Pierce grew up in southern Humboldt. She taught school and flew airplanes, a pioneer aviator on the North Coast. Tonight on Living Biographies, Helen Pierce, with videography by Elizabeth McNeil and the interview conducted by her longtime, very special friend, Kim Puckett.
And they stayed for a few days, and a man came along from a place called Elk Ridge. And he was talking about what a wonderful place it was. He owned 2,000 acres of land up there. So they decided they'd go to Elk Ridge, 8 miles. They buy a horse and wagon and start out. It takes them about 2 days to get there. No roads, no maps, no anything of the sort. They get there and they find a little 100 acres of hillside, and my father files on it to take it over, and eventually he gets it. He builds a 2-room cabin out of logs, and in those days, a saw was a big tool. All of them were sawed by hand.
The logs for the house.
Yep, and they built a 2-room cabin out of these logs. They piped in water from a spring, and they had a house. And they lived there very happily. The whole house wasn't as big as this room, but they lived there happily for a while. The baby had to be watched all the time because there were rattlesnakes, and you couldn't let the baby out in the yard without being out there to watch it because pick one up. So they stayed there for a year or so, and then they decided to move to Bryceland because the oldest little girl was ready for school, and there were no schools. So they went to Bryceland and they bought 40 acres. My father looked around and he decided to build a good house on it. Split all the timber by hand, built a 4-bedroom house. It was a big house, big as this. 4 bedrooms, a living room, kitchen, and even a bathroom. And in those days, there was no such thing as a bathroom. But they built a bathroom on the side, and my father put in a bathtub, which he'd made out of a pine log. And he'd hewed it out, inside and outside, and so there it sat in all its glory, and there was no piping to it or from it. Well, there was a pipe from it that you could let the water out, but there was no pipe to it, so to take a bath, my father had to put 2 boilers on the kitchen stove, and that was every Saturday night. 2 big boilers on the stove, and when they were hot, everybody joined together and carried them in and emptied them into the bathtub. And then my father would go in there and undress and luxuriate and sit on a splinter or 2 and one thing and another. And that's the way he enjoyed life.
What kind of work did your dad do?
He was a carpenter. That was his chief work. He could do any kind of work, but that was what he generally did.
Right. What was Bryceland like? Your first memories?
Bryceland was, when I was born, had about 15 houses, 2 hotels, 2 saloons, and a dry goods store.
Dry goods?
Which means a little bit of everything, and a post office. And the people worked in what was called the plant. They peeled bark from the tan oak trees and hauled it to Garberville, and from Garberville, I don't know where it went, but anyhow, it got to where it was going. And they took the bark and it was used to tan leather. And you'd see big 4-horse teams of wagons going out of Bryceland in the morning loaded with tan oak to go to Garberville, and they took the tannin out of it there and shipped it on to Eureka or someplace to tan that leather. Well, the school was, the time I saw it was still there. It held about 40 people, 38 or 40 people. And it was built so that you had a flight of stairs in front, and when the school bell rang, while you ran to get in line, the boys were in one row and the girls in the other. And the teacher stood at the head of the stairs and tapped on a little bell, and you walked up left, right, left, right, left, right, till you got to the top. And at the top of it, there was a porch. And you went through the porch, and inside, you turned to the left, and there was a bucket that sat by the door, about a 5-gallon bucket, and it was full of water, and that was your drinking supply. And it was not very sanitary, really, because one time somebody went out there and found a dead rat or something in it. I've forgotten what it was. And they just emptied it out and filled it with more water, and that was it. And nobody died of it either. That's the way they conducted school. You went inside, and there were 2 seats and 3 seats together, and the teacher sat on a platform up in the front, and there was an organ. An organ in the school? Yeah, an organ. And somebody could play it, but they only play one piece, so that's all we ever heard. Was one piece on the organ.
Do you remember what it was? No.
I didn't know it. After that, we moved to the ranch, and I went to school in the barn with the horses. I did. We had no teacher. My sister taught us for a while. She wasn't very enthusiastic about it. But when she moved away, why, the neighbors had a family, and another neighbor had moved in, they had a family, and we had no school. We had an old cabin that was on the ranch, because we didn't have any money to build a place. And we were in this old cabin, and it had no heat in it. It was just nothing, just a shell of an old cabin, that's all. And we had boxes to sit on, and no blackboard or anything like that. And so they said they'd get us a cabin. So they went to work, all the neighbors, and they chipped in and built a cabin.
For the school?
For the school. And, we thought it was wonderful. It was at least almost as big as this room. And the teacher sat on a platform up in front where she could look. Had a stove right in the middle, and in the wintertime we all got around as close as we could to the stove because only heat there was, and it was cold. Skunk skins, civet cats, coons, foxes, and all that sort of thing, you know. And they'd say $2.50 for a skunk skin. Well, my brother and I had bought traps, steel traps. And we'd take the day off and go trapping. And we'd take a string of popcorn around our necks to eat.
Oh.
And we'd go down maybe a half a mile to the first place and climb up a bank out of a creek. And there was a big live oak tree at the base of it. And I remember one time I went up there and I climbed up, and just as I got to the top, there was a skunk in the trap, and he let me have it right in the eye. I had to be stretched out and killed and deodorized for a couple of hours before I could get to traveling again.
What did you do?
Just lay there and
Oh,
it was sickening. Did you ever smell a skunk?
yes.
Did you ever get one right in the face?
No.
Well, I did. And then we went on from there to the next trap, which would maybe be a mile away, and we'd go all day long that way.
So would you take what would you get, like civet cats and?
Civet cats and coons, mostly coons because there were more of those.
Right.
But an occasional civet cat, a coon, and once in a great while a mink, which was...
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So
what would you do then?
You'd take them home and peel them, which we always call it. We skinned them, and we stretched them. We had boards about this long and this wide, and you'd pull them over the boards inside out, and you'd put them up in the attic to dry.
It didn't smell?
And then you peel them off the boards when they were dry and pack them up in packages and mail them to the companies that bought them.
And then they'd send you money?
Yeah.
Actual cash?
A check.
A check.
And they'd keep the skins and make them into coats and one thing and another, and that was that.
So how much would you make for that?
Or sometimes wintertime we'd make $15.
Oh.
That was a lot of money in those times.
So for one coon skin, what would you get?
One coon skin, they were cheaper than the skunks. You'd get maybe $1, $1.25.
And then for fox, you'd get...
For fox, you'd get maybe $2, $2.50. Yeah.
Did you ever go into Garberville? I did there.
Once in a great while, when there was a dance,
Oh.
we'd go.
And how would you go? By horseback?
Wagon.
Wagon? How long did it take to get there?
About 2 hours.
From the ranch?
No, from Bryceland.
From Bryceland? Okay.
After we moved to the ranch, we didn't go to Garberville anymore.
Okay.
What were the dances like?
The dances were, they still have them today. They have them out here, or they did have them out here for a while. They got to be quite fashionable. 1 steps, 2 steps, and 3 steps, and quadrilles, and
Square dancing?
square dancing is what it was.
So did you stay overnight?
Well, you might as well say we stayed all night because people had to come so far that they didn't like to go home in the dark, so nothing broke up before 2 or 3 o'clock, and usually it was 4 or 5. I remember the last one I went to was at 4 miles away from our ranch, and we danced till 3 o'clock in the morning, and then we decided, should we go home or what should we go? So we decided to go on to Bryceland and get the mail. So we rode to Bryceland, which was 4 miles more, and the postmaster, of course, was asleep, and so we threw a rock at his window, and he came, and what do you want? Come down and give us the mail. Come down and give us the mail. So he came down and gave us the mail, and we went home. We were at the ranch, and the fellow that owns the neighboring ranch had a car. And in those days, you had to be somebody to have a car because some of them cost $2,000 or $3,000, and that was tops. So he had to come to Eureka, and my sister lived in Eureka, and I telephoned and asked him if I could come in with him. Sure. An all-day trip from Miranda to Eureka.
By car?
By car.
One way all day? Or?
Yeah, one way.
Wow.
It was a long trip, and the roads were terrible.
How fast did the cars drive?
Oh,
How many miles? per hour?
I don't know, but you could walk faster.
So what was your first sight of Eureka like? What did you think?
It was a little bit of a town.
Did it seem big to you, though?
Oh, yes, sure. After Garberville and Bryceland, it seemed huge. You came in on Broadway, what's now Broadway, and trickled along until you got into 4th or 5th Street. And, of course, there was no place like Henderson or any of those places. There were just 2 or 3 main streets. That's it.
In the influenza?
Flu?
Oh, the flu, yeah. After we moved to the ranch, they got the flu. And you just got no idea how fast that went through the countryside. Nobody ever had anything like it before. And nobody in our family got it at the ranch. But the whole towns died out from it. And everybody was going around. If you went to Eureka, well, we lived there then, you'd go to Eureka to tie up a handkerchief over your nose and dampen it with some kind of antiseptic. And you'd see the town full of people going around with handkerchiefs over their noses, coughing and sneezing and snorting.
No one in your family got
No.
sick, though? Yeah. Okay. Now, you came to Eureka to live in high school. Can you tell me about how that happened?
Well, I finished the 8th grade and was through school so far as I knew, because in those days, why, if you were a country kid, that's where you stayed. And my sister had gone to Eureka and was working for a doctor,
Dr.
Falk. And she asked me if I'd like to go to high school. It was just like saying, would you like to go to heaven? You know, I could, today these kids just hate school, but my day you were enthusiastic about it. So I said yes, so I went to Eureka to live with her. She had an apartment. But 2 weeks before I graduated, they told me that I had been given a scholarship to Arcata, to Humboldt State. The women's club had chosen me to go, and they were going to pay my way. And so I didn't have any money of my own, and it seemed wonderful to be able to go there and not have to pay it back till after I got through. So that's where I went.
So did you continue to live with your sister then?
Yes.
Yeah. So do you remember what it cost you to go to Humboldt State?
Cost me $5 a month for a ride over there. $5 a month paid all my books and tuition and everything else. Yep.
Who did you ride over with?
I don't remember their names. One of them was Sadie somebody or another. And then the other one was Dorothy Benson. And Sadie I remember because she was a kind of a careless you-know-what. And she used to lie back at her chair or her seat and drive with her knees. Yeah, and sing to the horse, sing to the engine. And I was grateful to God to get there and be done with her.
So you went to Humboldt State and you were there for how long?
I was there for 3 years and a half. And they told me that that they were out of a teacher at junior high school. It had just opened for the first year. And they said they needed a teacher over there, and did I want the job. That was 2 weeks before I graduated. God, I was never so grateful to anybody in my life as I was for a job that I could stay at home on. So I graduated and went over there and taught 8 periods a day, and they reduced them to 7. So I had 5 classes and 7 periods.
Do you remember some of your students?
Sure, Gladys Strope, you heard him speak for her today, and Stanley Roscoe, who's quite a famous person, and oh, I can't remember the names.
Harvey?
Harvey Harper, yeah, bless his heart. I can't remember all of them. I had a lot of what?
Swanlands?
Oh yeah, Swanlands, yeah.
And Dayton Murray?
Yeah.
What was his full name? Do you remember?
No, Dayton Murray.
Dayton Murray? Yeah. So what were your students like then?
Darling.
Yeah?
They were in those days they didn't tolerate any put-up jobs, you know. They were all very quiet, very good, just really good. Studied hard and tried.
Your brother had a furniture store. What was the name of the store?
Thomas.
Thomas. Thomas Furniture? And where was it?
It was on 5th and J, where the courthouse is now part of it.
Oh, okay. And you went in there one day. Tell me about meeting Les.
Well, we bought this place on Broadway, and we didn't, either one of us, have any money. And he had a furniture store, and he said, come over there and pick out some furniture we need, and he'd charge it. So I went over to pick out a mattress, because that's what I did. I hate to sleep on springs. And Les was the clerk, and he waited on me. And he brought the mattress over to the house, and he said to me, was I interested in flying? Well, I'd seen 2 planes, as early times. And I told him that's all I'd ever seen. Well, he had a plane, and out at a place called Murray Field, and he said he was going to teach flying. And did I want to learn? And I thought, Lord Almighty, fly an airplane? And he kept at me and kept at me, and finally told me, he said the kids would be so tickled to have a teacher that could fly. So that's the reason I learned to fly.
So you took flying lessons from Lester.
Yeah.
What was it like the first time you flew?
Scared to death. Scared worse the first time I soloed.
Yeah. And you were the first woman in Humboldt County to get your pilot's license, right? Can you tell me about the day you soloed? Do you remember it?
We got up early in the morning because he had students, and I had to go to school, and I had breakfast at his house, and yeah, we had hotcakes. And then he took me out to fly me, and he said to me, I think you're ready to solo. And I can still see the place. There wasn't a runway. Nobody had any runways or anything else. It's at Murray Field, and there was a sled road, and that was it. So he says, Now you take off here and you fly around, you come around here and you land this way. So I did, and that was it.
Tell me more about how you and Les ended up getting married.
Well, we went together for a while, but he was engaged to another girl. And he wasn't really very crazy about her. She found out about us, and she said, the end of this. So it made him all right. So he said to me, let's get married, so we did.
Well, what can you tell me about the flying service?
What do you want to know?
Whatever you want to tell me.
Well, I was teaching school, and he kept telling me how terrible it was at flying service, so I quit teaching school and went to the flying service to work. And I worked, I tell you. I tell you.
What did you do?
Everything there was in the office. I sold parts. I kept all the books. I made appointments for flights. Everything there was.
What kind of flights did Les do?
He did everything there was to fly. He flew students, of course, and he flew parts into companies that had broken parts, and he flew passengers from here to San Francisco, that sort of thing.
And you had the ambulance service as well.
And the ambulance. My older daughter, Mitzi, had bronchitis, and the doctor told us if we'd take her someplace like to Dinsmore's for the summer, she'd be better. So we rented a cabin, and my sister kept the two little girls, and Les and I flew in and out every day.
Every day? Wow.
We'd fly into town in the morning and go out and have dinner at night, and that would be it. It just took about 20 minutes.
Oh, okay.
And we really enjoyed it, and the kids just loved it.
Can you remember the '64 flood?
We'd get up at dawn in the morning and have breakfast and go to the airport. We'd have to go clear to Arcata to get across because you couldn't go across the cutoff, water, and go down to the Murray Field, and it was guarded by soldiers, and you had to have a password to get in, which we had. And we'd get in there and we'd find out that the office was full of people, and this was at 7 or 8 in the morning, and it was just full of people, and all wanting to go in a hurry someplace.
Wow.
And we had 11 planes and 11 pilots.
Who were the pilots that were
Anybody
flying
you
for
could yank in.
But do you remember some of the particular pilots?
Oh,
Did Kay fly for you?
yes, she flew for us for a while.
What's her full name?
Chafee.
Kay Chafee.
And she was the only woman pilot we had.
Why did you take the aerial photos?
Oh, lots of people demanded them, wanted to sell them and like that, and wanted them, you know. And people, the county was growing by that time, and people would buy a piece of land, build a house on it, and you could take the picture of the house and sell it to them for a small sum.
Did you ever fly for any of the timber companies?
Oh, yeah.
What kinds of things did you do for them?
They'd see an area that they'd want to evaluate on a map, and they'd say, Les, here, fly me this way and let me look at it, and he'd do that.
But you've had a good time, haven't you?
I've had a wonderful life.
And what was the most fun things to you? What were the most important things?
Well, you know, you never looked for fun things in my day. There weren't any, really. If somebody brought a bucket of popcorn to a party, that was wonderful because it was unexpected, and it was delicious, and it was good, and it was shared. But I don't know. I've had a wonderful life. Everybody's been so good to me, and my family, I just really think it's wonderful.
Did you ever fly a helicopter?
No.
But you flew in one with Les?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was that like?
Lovely. God, if I could do it all over again, that's where I'd fly.
A helicopter? Why?
Oh, I love them.
What was it about it that
You
charmed
could go up and down. You can go slow. Oh, they're wonderful.